I'm Liam. I don't want to start this in a heavy way today, just a simple conversation. Maybe your day's going okay, or maybe something small already disturbed your mood a little. It happens, more than we think.
Yeah, I am Elizabeth, and it's usually something small, right? Not a big problem, just a small moment. A message, a look, a sentence. But somehow, it stays.
That's true. Like, you wake up, everything feels normal, nothing special. Then you check your phone. One message, just one, and suddenly, your mind is not calm anymore.
And you don't even know why at first. You just feel different. Maybe a little uncomfortable, maybe annoyed. Maybe you start thinking too much about what they meant.
Yeah, you read it again, then again, trying to understand the tone. Like, did they mean this in a bad way? Did I do something wrong?
Exactly. And sometimes the message is completely normal, but your reaction is not normal anymore. That's where things change. The situation is small, but the reaction becomes bigger than it should be.
I think that's the part we don't notice. We think the problem is the situation, but actually it's how fast we react to it.
Yes. And reacting is not always loud. People think reacting means shouting or arguing, but no. Sometimes reacting is very quiet. You say nothing, but inside, your mind is running fast.
Like you're having a full conversation in your head.
Yes, and you're repeating the same moment again and again. You're standing somewhere normal, but mentally, you are still stuck in that one small thing.
I've done that so many times. Like replaying one sentence for hours. It sounds small, but it doesn't feel small.
And this happens in so many situations. Someone says something simple, and it stays in your head. Someone ignores you, and now you start questioning everything. Someone corrects your English, and suddenly you feel embarrassed.
Yeah, that one hits a lot, especially for people trying to speak English. One small mistake, and they stop speaking.
Yes, they were doing fine, but that one moment changes everything. And now they're not just speaking, they're thinking too much. They're judging themselves.
And most of the time, nobody else is judging them that much.
Exactly. But the reaction inside is strong, and that reaction becomes heavier than the mistake itself.
So it's like, the real problem is not what happened.
It's what happens inside you after that.
Yeah, that's deep.
And I think many people feel bad about this. They think, why do I react like this? Why can't I stay calm? Why do small things affect me so much?
Yes, people feel weak because of it.
But honestly, we need to say this clearly. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You are not too emotional. You are just human.
Humans react. That's normal.
We feel things fast. We get hurt. We get embarrassed. We get defensive. That part is natural. This conversation is not about removing feelings.
Yeah, it's not about becoming cold.
Not at all. And it's also not about staying silent all the time. Some people think not reacting means ignoring everything or hiding emotions, but that's not true.
So then, what is it really?
I think it's about understanding one thing. Not every feeling needs an immediate reaction. Just because you feel something doesn't mean you have to act on it right away.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
It is. Because when people react fast, they think they are being honest. Like, this is how I feel, so I have to say it now. But sometimes, that's not honesty. That's just emotion moving too fast.
Wow, yeah, that makes sense.
Think about it. How many times did you react quickly and later feel like, I shouldn't have said that, or I should have waited?
Honestly, many times. More than I want to admit.
Same. And it's not because we are bad people. It's because we don't see that moment clearly when the reaction starts.
It just takes over.
1 second you're okay. Next second, your mood changes. Your thoughts change. your energy changes.
And then the whole day feels different.
That's the problem. One small moment affects the next few hours. But the moment itself was only a few seconds.
So basically, we carry it forward.
We give it more importance than it deserves. And slowly, it takes our peace.
That's actually scary, because it means small things have too much control.
And maybe the real problem is not life itself, but how quickly we react to it.
Yeah.
And this is where it becomes interesting. Because if reactions can disturb our whole day,
Then maybe controlling reactions can protect it. But that brings a question.
yeah.
Why do we react so fast?
And what are we really trying to protect when we react?
You are right.
And what would change if we just paused for a moment instead of reacting immediately?
That's what we need to understand next. That's what we need to understand next. Because it feels automatic. Like we don't even choose it, it just happens.
Yeah, it feels automatic, but there is something deeper behind it. Most reactions come from fast emotions, not from clear thinking.
Fast emotions. Like what?
Like fear, hurt, anger, even ego. These feelings move very quickly. They don't wait. They don't think. They just push you to act.
Like when someone says something and you feel hurt, you want to reply immediately.
You don't stop. You don't check. You just react. But the problem is, fast emotions are not always correct.
That's true. Later, we often feel different.
Yes, after some time, your mind becomes calmer. And then you think, okay, maybe I understood it wrong. Or maybe I didn't need to react like that.
So, reaction is fast, but understanding is slow.
That's a very good way to say it. Reaction is fast. Understanding takes time. And most people don't give that time.
Yeah, we just jump.
Exactly. Let's take a simple situation. Imagine someone sends you a short reply. Just one word. No emotion, nothing.
Yeah, like, okay.
Yes. Now what happens?
You start thinking, why just okay? Are they angry? Did I say something wrong?
And now your reaction starts. Maybe you feel bad. Maybe you reply in a cold way. Maybe you stop talking.
Yeah, or you send another message to fix it.
Exactly. But what if that person was just busy?
Yeah, that's possible.
But you didn't wait to check. You reacted based on a feeling, not on truth.
That happens a lot.
It really does. Another situation. Imagine you are talking to someone. You say something in English and you make a small mistake.
Yeah, very common.
And then the other person corrects you. Maybe in a normal way, but inside, you feel embarrassed.
Yeah, you feel like stopping.
Exactly. That's the reaction. You feel small. You lose confidence. Maybe you stop speaking.
But the mistake was small.
Very small. But the reaction becomes big. Now you are not learning. You are protecting your ego.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's take one more. Work situation. Your boss sends a message. It sounds a little serious.
Yeah, that always feels heavy.
And you start thinking the worst. Did I do something wrong? Am I in trouble? And your mood drops.
Yeah, even before you know the real reason.
That's reaction again. Your mind is filling the gap with fear.
So, in all these cases, we are not reacting to reality.
We are reacting to our own thoughts about reality.
Wow, that's important.
And that's why not reacting immediately is powerful, because it gives you time to see clearly.
So, pause means more clarity.
And also less regret, because many reactions create problems that were not even there before.
Yeah, like saying something you didn't really mean.
Or hurting someone because you felt hurt for a moment.
That happens a lot in relationships.
It does. A small misunderstanding becomes a bigger problem just because both people reacted quickly.
So reacting fast feels natural, but it's not always helpful.
And here is something important. Not reacting does not mean you don't care.
Yeah, that's a big misunderstanding.
Not reacting means you care enough to stay calm. You care enough to not make the situation worse.
That's a different way to see it.
It is. A calm person is not empty. A calm person is aware.
I like that.
And also, not every situation needs your reaction. Some things are too small. Some things don't deserve your energy.
Yeah, we give too much importance to small things.
We give power to things that don't really matter, and then we feel tired.
That's true. It's exhausting.
Because reacting all the time takes energy. Mental energy, emotional energy.
So if we react less, we save energy.
Yes, and we also save peace, which is more important. And I think this is where the shift begins. When you start seeing that not every feeling needs action, something changes inside you.
But the big question is, how do we actually do that?
Yes, because understanding is one thing, but doing it in real life, that's different.
Especially in the moment.
Exactly. When the feeling is strong, it's hard to stay calm.
So we need something practical.
Yes, something simple, something we can actually use.
Yeah.
Because if we can learn even a small pause, it can change many things.
That's what we need next.
Yes. Now, let's talk about how to control that reaction without pressure. Yeah, because now we understand the problem, but in real life, the hard part is control. In that moment, when you feel something strong, it's not easy to stay calm.
Yeah. In that moment, it feels almost impossible.
It feels like that, but it's not impossible. We just need small tools, not big changes, just small steps.
Okay, so where do we start?
We start with something very simple, a pause. Just a small pause. Before you speak, before you reply, before you react, wait for a few seconds.
Just a few seconds?
Yes, even 5 seconds can help, because in those 5 seconds, your feeling becomes a little slower. It gives your mind time to catch up.
So it's like you create space.
Exactly. A small space between feeling and action. And in that space, you get a choice.
That sounds simple, but also powerful.
It is simple, and that's why it works. You don't need to be perfect. Just try to pause. That's the first step.
Okay, what if the feeling is too strong?
Then you use the next step. Give it more time. Don't answer immediately. You can wait 10 minutes or more. This is very useful when you feel angry or hurt.
Like not replying to a message right away.
Yes, exactly that. When you reply fast, you reply with emotion. When you wait, you reply with clarity.
Yeah, I've seen that. Sometimes after a few minutes, I feel very different.
That's the point. Feelings change with time. They are not fixed. What feels big now may feel small later.
So waiting changes the feeling.
Yes, it softens it. And when the feeling is softer, your reaction is also better.
That can save a lot of problems.
It really can. Many problems start from fast reactions, and many problems can end with a small delay.
I like that.
Let me give you another idea. Think of your day like different parts. One moment is just one part, not the whole day.
Okay, like one bad moment doesn't mean a bad day.
Exactly. But what do? We take one bad moment and we carry it everywhere. We keep thinking about it. We let it control the next hours.
Yeah, we don't let it go.
Yes, but if you see your day as separate parts, you can close one part and move to the next. You don't have to carry it.
That feels lighter.
It is lighter. It protects your peace, because not every moment deserves your whole day.
That's a strong line.
And it's true. Another simple idea. You can feel something, but you don't have to act on it.
Explain that.
For example, you feel angry. That feeling is real. You don't ignore it, but you don't need to speak in anger. You can feel it and still choose calm words.
So feeling and action are different.
Yes, very different. Feeling is natural. Action is a choice. And when you understand this, you start getting control.
That's actually very helpful.
Same with embarrassment. You feel embarrassed when you make a mistake. That's normal, but you don't need to stop. You can continue.
Yeah, that's important for English learners.
Exactly. You feel nervous, but you still speak. That is control. That is growth.
So control doesn't mean no feeling.
Not at all. It means you don't let the feeling decide everything. You stay a little steady.
Steady. Yeah, I like that word.
A steady person still feels things, but they don't lose balance easily.
And that helps in every situation.
Yes, work, relationships, daily life, everywhere. When you stay steady, you make better decisions.
And less regret.
Exactly. Less regret, because most regret comes from fast reactions.
That's true.
And slowly, you become more calm. Not because life is perfect, but because your reaction is better. So you don't need big change, just small steps. Wait, don't carry one moment too long. And remember, feeling is not the final decision.
Yeah, that feels possible.
It is possible. Not perfect, but possible. And that's enough to start.
So, if someone starts doing this,
Then slowly, they become a different kind of person.
what kind?
Someone who doesn't react to everything. Someone who protects their peace. Someone who stays calm, even when things are not perfect.
That sounds like a strong person.
It is. And in the next part, we talk about that. How this changes your life and who you become.
So, if someone really starts doing this, even in small ways, what changes? I mean, not just in one moment, but in life.
A lot changes. Slowly, but deeply. You don't become a different person in one day, but you start becoming a calmer version of yourself. And that shows in everything. How you speak, how you think, how you handle people.
Like your reactions stop controlling your day.
Yes, and more than that, your peace becomes stronger. Before, small things could disturb you easily. Now, they still come, but they don't stay too long.
That sounds peaceful.
It is. And it also builds confidence, especially when you speak English. Because now, even if you make a mistake, you don't panic, you don't stop, you continue.
Yeah, that's a big shift.
It is. You feel something, but you don't let it stop you. That's real growth. Not perfect speaking, but steady speaking.
Steady. Yeah, we used that word before.
Yes, and that's a good word to remember. A steady person is not someone who never feels anything. A steady person is someone who doesn't lose control easily.
I like that.
Another word we used is calm. Calm doesn't mean silent. It means clear. When you are calm, you can see things better. You don't react blindly.
And we also talked about pause.
Yes, pause is very simple, but very powerful. Just waiting a few seconds can change your reaction. It gives your mind time.
And reaction itself, we use that a lot.
Exactly. Reaction is what you do immediately after a feeling. But now, you know that you don't always have to react fast. You can choose your response.
Response feels more controlled.
Yes, response is slower. It is more thoughtful. It comes after you understand the situation.
So, reaction is fast. Response is calm.
Perfect. That's a simple way to remember it.
I think these small ideas, they sound simple, but they can really change how someone lives.
They really can, because life is full of small moments. And if you can handle small moments well, your whole life feels lighter.
Yeah, it's not about big success. It's about daily peace.
Exactly. And I want to say something to the listener here. If you feel like you react too fast, if you feel like small things disturb you, please don't be hard on yourself.
Yeah, don't judge yourself for that.
You are learning. That's it. You are becoming more aware. And that is the first step. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to try.
Just try. Yeah.
Next time something small happens, just remember this conversation. Just pause for a few seconds. Don't react immediately. That one small change can protect your whole day.
That's a good challenge.
Yes, think of it like a small practice. For the next 24 hours, try not to react fast to one thing. Just one. It can be a message, a comment, anything.
That feels doable.
It is. And slowly, it becomes a habit. And one day, you'll notice something. Things that used to disturb you don't affect you the same way anymore.
That's a nice feeling.
It really is. You feel lighter, more in control, more peaceful.
And I think that's what most people are looking for.
Yes, not a perfect life, just a peaceful mind. And before we end, I want to ask you something. Have you ever felt this? Like a small moment ruined your mood? Or you reacted fast and later you felt, I should have stayed calm.
Yeah, I'm sure many people have.
If that's you, you can share it. What kind of situations make you react quickly? Is it anger? Is it overthinking? Is it fear or embarrassment?
That would be interesting to hear.
Yes, because when you share it, you understand yourself better.
And you realize you're not alone. And if this conversation helped you even a little, you can stay with us. We'll keep having more real conversations like this.
Yes, simple talks, real feelings, easy English. Just like this.
All right. I think this was a good one.
Yeah, calm, simple, but meaningful.
And remember, you don't have to react to everything.
Sometimes your calm is your power.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye. Take it easy.